Somebody get me a bagel. I need a coffee. We're going to get started here in 30 seconds, everyone. We're excited to bring you some new information about what's going on out there in the world of UFOs, UAPs, and some, as we know it, are now American Foo Fighters. Today, myself, toNyO, and Mr. Michael Schrratt are going to bring you some great information, but we're going to follow the breadcrumbs. We've got a lot to talk about today. The breadcrumbs are, in order to understand what's happening today and in the future here, we have to understand the past. So let's get ready to start the show. Stand by and let's get going here. You know, but that is a great illustration drawing of this craft here, and it does look like the sporty model. Now, getting back to the what was written on the side of the ships.
Right.
Has anyone ever been able to figure out the word? What does it mean? Like what?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because within the Stringfield cases, we have about 5 cases of hieroglyphic type writing written along the outer circumference of the lower portion of the body of the craft and also on the inside wall of the upper dome. This pops up in multiple cases. We got the case in 1942 in an army base north of Georgia. We've got the Aztec case 1948 where hieroglyphic writing was seen on the inside wall of the upper dome. Multiple other cases. So by default, there absolutely has to be a transnational team of linguistic experts and engineers who are desperately trying to decipher this, to decode this. They got to have multiple 3-ring binders that are 6 inches thick with all of these symbols, and they're cross-correlating. This has to be going on.
Yeah.
Has to be.
So I know that, you know, there are a lot of stories of different people that have been up close and personal with
Yes.
alien crash retrievals, and Bob Lazar was, you know, right next to a vehicle back in the day, and he talks about this. Does he ever talk about, you know, any symbols or anything on the crafts?
There were symbols on a transparent panel.
So he does talk about that.
He absolutely
I
does
must have
talk
missed
about
that.
it,
But
yes.
is it inside the craft or outside?
It was on the inside, but the
Well, that's
walls of the
interesting.
craft became transparent
Oh wow.
when it was like energized up. So this is something you're talking about. Now, I think it's safe to say that there's a documentary coming out, basically full-length movie documentary about Bob's experience.
That's exciting.
So that will be exciting. This
I
is
think
coming up very soon here.
Bob Lazar is an American hero to me. I mean, that guy, talk about putting it out there to, you know, get the information to the people. Like I just love the guy. I respect the guy. All right, so do we have more drawings?
We're basically finished with that portion, but there's a couple things I want to interject here.
Okay.
$64 million question.
All right.
Where are the top secret files on UFO crash retrievals being stored? Everybody wants to know, right? Where are the
Currently?
files? Okay.
Like right now, currently.
Well, this would be probably the late 1970s up till around mid-1980s, but probably still today. So to answer your question, yes, even still today.
Okay.
Okay? We all want to know. Well, there is a witness within the Stringfield collection, which I've got the document that talks about this, and this is what this person says. They are kept in 3 large computer banks spread throughout the country. Number 1, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. That doesn't surprise us. We
No.
all knew that,
Everything
right?
always leads
We already
back
knew
there.
that. Now, number 2, CIA headquarters, McLean, Virginia. Number 3, NSA headquarters, Fort Meade, Maryland. So, if you get the batch file, the computer, bank file, then you got it. This is where it's located. Now, he also stated, which is cryptic and sinister, he said, quote, "They will bend in any direction to keep them secret."
Oh, sure.
So, you're talking about the crown jewels, you're talking about the varsity team here. These are the big boys. These guys play for keeps.
Yeah, for sure.
These are the kind of guys that stop at nothing to keep this under wraps. But if you can get this master computer file, you've got it.
Yeah,
You've got it.
And I'm
okay?
sure after this show, somebody will, because those kids are pretty good at being able to hack into stuff.
So for the senators and congressmen that are doing these congressional hearings, here's where you need to go, because they've got the files there. So
I
instead
got a better idea. Why don't we just send you, Michael? Why don't you
Yeah,
just go up there in front of Congress and tell them what you know? Because
we're telling these senators, we're telling them exactly where to go. Now the question is, do they have a high enough security clearance to get access to the material? That's where the roadblock comes in. All right, so this is where the files are stored. Let's go to the next slide here. Location of where ET craft are being stored, okay? Number 1, CIA headquarters, McLean, Virginia, okay? Number 2, MacDill Air Force Base, Tampa, Florida. Number 3, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, Goldsboro, North Carolina. These are just 3 locations. Tony, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of locations where they have ET hardware, bodies, and craft. Now we know this because of the way the government operates. They don't operate on a single point failure type scenario. They want to diversify their portfolio so they don't have a single point failure. Are you going to put all your eggs in one basket and put all your crash retrievals in one location, and then an earthquake comes in or a fire destroys all of their great things? No way. They're going to spread craft throughout the country.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they've done.
you have to, and that totally
They have
makes
to.
sense. Yeah, that totally makes
They
sense.
have to. They have
you
to.
know, I heard someone say, you know, you really can't find any more ET vehicles like Area 51 or S4, which I don't know if I agree with that comment. I would think that's a pretty good place. It started there. Most of it started there. They probably kept some stuff there, but I agree with you. It's probably been put all over the place. Amazing. Very,
Yes,
very, very
absolutely.
cool.